So someone in my previous video asked me a very good question, namely, what is the difference between Olen menossa and Menen? But before I dive into that in more depth, I wanted to point out a comment that was made in my previous video as well. I am going to, let me scoot to the side so my whole face isn't blocked, but I'm going to insert it somewhere here. And this person described the grammar of the different verbs that you add after Olen menossa or Menen very well, because in the video I was like, I'm not really sure why some of the endings are one way and why some of the endings are different. Like the endings to the verbs kind of changed around a little bit and I was a little stumped as to why. This comment I think explained it very well, and there's also a website I found that kind of explained the grammar part in more detail, which I'll link in the description box down below, so you can go have a read of that as well if you're interested in the more grammary bits. But just to sum up a little bit what the comment was explaining, so this applies for both Olen menossa and Menen. So Menen means like I go as well, I'll go. So basically, in a lot of cases they can be used interchangeably. So keep that in mind when I'm explaining this verb ending thing, because the same idea applies for both. So this comment was on my Olen menossa going video. So basically, because sometimes when you say Olen menossa kaupunkiin, I'm going to the city. Olen menossa Helsinkiin. Olen menossa Turkuun. You know, it has that sort of double vowel N ending. So this person said that the double vowel ending is used when you're going inside a building, a place or a city country, and it's the illative case. So illatiivi in Finnish. So that ending is when you are going into a place or into a city, into a country. You're going inside that location, I suppose. So for one example, we could say Olen menossa veneeseen. Veneeseen. Vene is a boat, so veneeseen is like into the boat. I'm going into the boat is what it means. If you say veneeseen, you're going onto the boat, in the boat. You're like boarding the boat, veneeseen. On the other hand, the LLE ending, which I used for, I think I said, Olen menossa lenkille, I'm going for a jog. I used it for Olen menossa kuntosalille, I'm going to the gym. The LLE ending implies that you're going at somewhere, not necessarily entering the place, you're just going to the place. You also use it when you're going outdoors or to an open place. It's the allative case. So you could say Olen menossa torille as well. I'm going to the market. You're going to an open space market. You're not necessarily going inside anywhere. So that's why you're using LLE instead of the other ending. So I think the vene example gives the most clear example of like the distinction. So as I said earlier, Olen menossa veneeseen means you're boarding the boat, you're going inside the boat, you're going onto the boat, you're physically on that boat. If you say Olen menossa veneelle, it means I'm going to the boat as well. But what you're implying by saying veneelle instead of veneeseen is that you could be going next to the boat, you might be just going and standing next to the boat, you may be beside the boat, near the boat, not like kind of like in the general vicinity of the boat, loitering around. You're not necessarily on the boat. Whereas if you're saying veneeseen, that implies that you're on that boat, inside of it. Whereas veneelle, you could be like anywhere within the vicinity. You could be beside it, like somewhere nearby, but not necessarily on the boat. So that's the difference between those endings. So yeah, so locations that you're not necessarily like inside of a building or like, I don't know, inside of a city or something, you would in most cases use the LLE ending. So yeah, that was just to clear up that confusion. Hopefully that helped. And thank you so much for this person that commented this. It cleared up, at least to me, it cleared up a lot of questions. So moving on to the rest of the video, which is about the difference between Olen, menossa, and Menen. So essentially when you Google these, they turn up, well, the translation turns out to be I'm going. Like they, even in Finnish, the meaning is like very similar, and like surface level, when I was like thinking about, okay, what is the difference between Olen, menossa, and Menen? Like when I was processing it, I was like, it's pretty much the same thing. It's like, you know, potato, potato, same thing really. But then when I thought about it a bit more deeply, like I was really like, okay, there must be like some reason why there's two different words. What is like the real difference here? So and now I'm not sure if this is 100% true, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like, for me personally, what I believe, because I was like Googling it as well. I couldn't really find anything about it. So what I think the difference is that Olen menossa is apparently for those people who love grammar, is an inessive case, or it's in the inessive form. I guess that's how you would say it. It's in the inessive form. So Olen menossa is that you're doing this action right away, or you are in the process of doing this action. So when you're saying Olen menossa, that means like you've already started going, you're in the process of going, you're, you know, on your way, it's more of an active way of saying something. So, you know, you're kind of already started going, you've kind of got up and like began going, or you're like just about to start going. Like it's not something you're doing in the future or, you know, in 10 minutes. It's something like you're actively like doing right now. Like I am going to the store, olen menossa kauppaan. Like you are going there right now, not in 5 minutes, not in half an hour, like right now you're going. On the other hand, menen is also translated to like I'm going to blah blah blah. So yeah, minä menen, or just simply menen, because menen already has the N on the end, so it's signifying I'm doing the action. So menen kauppaan, I'm going to the store. Menen kauppaan, that's the kirjakieli version, and then the puhekieli version would be menen kauppaan, or mä menen kauppaan. Menen kauppaan. Menen kauppaan. Again, it has the double E, so just remember to pause on the E for a little while longer, so it's not like men kauppaan, like men, like males, yeah, very funny. Men kauppaan. So yeah, it also means I'm going as well. And then to structure it in a sentence, it's exactly the same as olen menossa. So the verb you would add at the end of menen is the exact same format that you would add to olen menossa. So you can just watch my olen menossa video, take those verbs, apply it to the end of menen, and that's perfectly perfect. So yeah, it works in the exact same way. So yeah, that was just a clarification I wanted to add. But when you say menen, it kind of I think it has more of a futuristic, like, okay, this is really hard to explain. Like, it has more of like kind of like a in the future nuance to it, where if you say menen kauppaan, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're on your way to the store. It could mean that, but it could also mean like I'm gonna go in 5 minutes. Oh, I'm planning on going in like half an hour. Menen kauppaan just means like I will be going to the store. It doesn't imply that you're going there right this very second, like olen menossa would. Olen menossa is like, yes, I am on my way to the store right now. I'm going to that store. Whereas menen could mean like, yo, menen kauppaan, like, yeah, I'm going to the store. But it could be like, you know, in 5 minutes. It could be like, yeah, I'm gonna finish this, and then menen kauppaan, I'm gonna go after I finish this. So it's not like as active, you know. It leaves a bit more ambiguity as to when you are going. But again, these can be used quite interchangeably. It's only when you start thinking about it a bit more deeper that you can kind of, or like for me at least, when I start thinking about it a bit more deeper, olen menossa is like very active in the moment you're doing it, whereas menen is like, oh yeah, I'm going there, but it could be like in a little bit as well, not necessarily like right this very second. So like one example is if you're sitting down, you know, drinking some water and someone comes in and asks like, are you going to the store? Oletko menossa kauppaan? And then if you reply, joo, yes, olen menossa, I'm going, it means like you're literally like gonna gulp down that drink and like head out the door like right then and there. Whereas if you're gonna be like, joo menen, like joo menen kauppaan, joo menen kauppaan, it means that like, yeah, I'm gonna be going to the store, but it might be like in 15 minutes, it might be like in a little bit, like it doesn't necessarily have to be like, yes, I'm getting up and going to the store right now kind of feeling. At least like that's my idea of the distinction between the two. And then I just like for good measure wanted to add a third one, which is Aion Mennä. Aion Mennä. Aion is kind of a word that signifies intention, or like you're going to be doing something in the future. So kind of like planning on doing something, planning on going somewhere in the future. Aion signifies like intention to be doing something. So when you say aion mennä, it means like I will go, or like I'm planning on going. So if you say aion mennä kauppaan, it means yes. No. It means aion mennä kauppaan means I am planning on going to the store, or I will be going to the store. Something along the lines of that is the translation. And hopefully that didn't confuse anyone more. Hopefully it added more clarity. And that's just about it. And I guess that just about concludes this video. So till next time.